we're just going to open that third eye now. There's a really, the removal of that program, it's actually, it's really heavy. So it's just making me feel a little bit, because of the way that the program was being designed, it's actually tied into the third eye as well as that crown. So we're just still working through. There's some rewiring, we'll put it that way, that needs to sort of be done from that crown into the third eye. So just asking for assistance there. We've got a portal opened. That's great. Awesome. So amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, there you go. You've got a little bit of light all the way down there. So moving, pulling that out. Yeah, so there's... All right, this is pretty intense. There's some pretty intense work being done here at the moment, being any of that density. So as we're working on the third eye, you've got some density coming out of the crown as well. That's just connected there. So just going to have to bear with me. All right, so here we go. So we've got an actual channel. So your ability to tap in, and you've got a natural ability to receive messages, and your instincts are good. Like your instincts are really on par, but your instincts and your inner knowing has kind of been separated. So this is through that program that created, you're wired logically anyway, right? We all are. But what essentially it did, it switched off your divine knowing, right? So it's created doubt, and through your life circumstances, it's just rewired in a way that has caused a little bit of disbelief, and amplified the logic in you, essentially, and sort of like steered you off your natural course. And your natural course is actually to see and use your inner guidance, which you have done a lot of the time, but just like the divine guidance, and that's that higher, the spiritual self hasn't sort of been activated. So now we've got that activated. We're going to flow through. We're going to go down through, sending the light down into your throat chakra, which is blue. So that comes out of the throat and at the back of the throat. So it's taking out any conditioning there. A little bit of density, so just activating that. There is flow there, so it's going to be easier than those first two channels. Okay. Amazing, so we've got that going. Now we just push that through. Great, awesome. Now we're coming down, taking down that energy through, down into your shoulders, arms, upper body, down into your fingertips. Just moving that energy down into your heart. So just coming into the heart center now. Massive open heart. Your ability to sense what other people are feeling, I am imagining, is quite on par. You've got like a massive heart. You feel like there's a hole in your heart though as well, because of the sadness and that you've expressed. Also like it's like there's something missing. Like it's kind of like I feel like you're saying there's something missing. It's like makes you feel like there's something missing in the world, and that kind of reflects in how you feel inside of your heart. There's like it's like, yes, I'm sensing lots of emotion in there. It's just sitting in there. So it's kind of like coming out in waves at the moment. So we're just moving any of the density in this portal. All right, so that we're just removing the distortions, and the distortions that are coming out are kind of looking like a radio frequency that are leaving. All right, so I'm starting to see the essence in your heart, and the way that your love is expressed and how you show up in the world and share with others. Like, this is all part of the essence. So I'm starting to see how it's forming. We just have to clear that out. So it's kind of like what I'm seeing, the energy, what it's doing is it's coming out of your heart. And we're just going to crank it. All right, so with your love and the way that you love, it's just ongoing. There's no switching it off. So, all right, so what I'm seeing is your heart opens out like a vortex, and it shoots out like it impacts the world when you're feeling passionate about something, when you're feeling love, when you're focusing on something, and what you share with others, and the way that your essence comes out and expresses itself is it shoots out into like this kind of like a spotlight type of energy. And then after it does that, it kind of simmers down and kind of keeps bubbling, essentially like a bubbler. If you turn a water bubbler on, it kind of keeps going like this, right? So and then like it builds again, and then it'll shoot out, right? And then you kind of like comes back in and you bubble. So you kind of always your heart is essentially, you're always giving, and you're always looking for ways to express it and get out what is in your heart, because essentially the energy that you hold in there is very active and wants to be expressed in a way that you're just naturally built, where it just, your essence is built to express and expand and make an impact. And so whilst it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's a resting phase while it's bubbling, it's building. It builds, it builds, it builds, and then you're like, you express from your heart, right? So you build and build and build and express from your heart. And so this is the same, it'll be in your relationships, the way that you communicate. Everything is tied into this essence and the way that it works. So it's kind of like, when you see those, even like a water fountain in the ground, and like you don't know when it's going to pop out, like, or when it's going to like go and do like the big squirt of water, right? So essentially that's what it does, and then it comes back down and bubbles, builds, and then go. And that's your essence. And it's probably the easiest explanation that I can give to how you offer the world your love, right? And it has a lasting impact, and it goes far and wide. And when you focus on where you want that love or that energy to go, it creates like a stream of energy. It's very directed, very focused, and then comes back in. So this is just where you're at the moment and how it's been expressing itself. And when we take back the layers and go to the core essence of you, this is what I'm seeing. However, I have seen people's energy in their essence change over time as they are evolving, like it does different things. So, and other people stay the same. So we'll just see how yours goes. But that's the easiest way to explain it, like a bubbler, and then it builds and builds, and then all of a sudden it comes out and expresses. And I would imagine that your relationships are quite nurtured as well. So in the sense that because you're constantly on and constantly like building that love, you probably have that attention to detail, and look after the people that you love. So you don't just switch off, and you're a nurturer, essentially. You always like, it's because it's always there. So you are able to continuously give. That's what also I'm being shown through the expression here. It just comes naturally to you to do that and think of others. Okay, so that transmitting is still there. So So you have a transmitting frequency about you as well. Okay, so not everyone has transmitting frequencies, and some people have the transmitting frequencies in different parts of them. You have a transmitting frequency within your heart. So the things that you feel, and when you express yourself, you transmit that feeling, like in your expression. So they're never just empty words. Your words that you express and the things that you express are backed with feelings. So you will feel things, and because of that build, like with the feeling, and then that's kind of like the pressure, and then it kind of explodes. Right, so we're just going to push that down. So your transmitter, awesome. Which means that when you're a transmitter, it's kind of like any transmitting device, it amplifies the whatever's coming out of it, right? That transmitting device amplifies. So you have an amplification device essentially in your heart center that allows you to create messages that are backed with your essence and are felt by others. And that's why it's so impactful and goes far and wide. Because the resonance, it'll get people resonating with your words because they're backed with the emotion. Some people just talk and there's not a lot of feeling behind it. They're just talking. So they're kind of like empty words, where you speak from your heart a lot of the time. And it's fueled by... In fact, you will probably most often wait. It kind of builds and builds and builds, and then you talk. You wait till it builds until you know that you've got to come out. All right. Let's just move that energy through there. Cool. So I'm feeling or sensing a lot of, there's disheartened energy coming through earth realm. So when we move and push that energy or your essence through the portal and in and out through that energy center in your physical body, it feels disheartened. You've been disheartened by the world and the things that you can see, right? So we're going to try and just shift this. We're going to bring in some more love. We're bringing in that golden light. We're going to pump that through those channels. Take out any programming there. Conditioning, so moving that down, essentially. Yep, great, thank you. All right, just going back up, I'm just going to check your crown is open. We've got the third eye open. We've got a nice flow there. You've got your throat chakra open as well. Essentially, you've got divine. So you're a messenger. So what I can see with the throat now nice and clearly is you have a nice divine flow of energy coming out through that throat. Now, when we have the divine energy that creates like a glow in these energy centers, it shows that this is part of your purpose. So part of your purpose is using your voice, right, to essentially channel that energy from your heart center out through there. So they work hand in hand. It's not the same for everyone. Everyone has different missions and different purpose here, but your heart is directly linked to your throat. And so that throat energy there. Okay, so the energy in the spirit realm is very strong. So we want to be able to balance it out. And that's how you're going to be able to help and assist that flow of energy balance itself out. And we'll come back for the messages in a minute. So they're both activated. Your heart chakra is now activated. And again, you've got really, really powerful energy in spirit realm. But because of that disheartening in earth realm, it's a little bit weaker. So we're going to strengthen that though, and you'll be able to strengthen that, no doubt. So we do have a flow there. Lots of divine energy coming out both sides in the heart as well, which means you are well connected in with your heart and have not closed it off, which is amazing, which was obvious to me also, which is why I felt your resonance and was able to connect with you. So